What's up, AfterBuzz? It is another episode of Hell's Kitchen. Somebody had to walk the plank. Let's see who is next. Let's get it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, hey. Oh yeah, you gotta get that. Bring it for me. I feel like I'm a little kid with guns. Like,
Lim can't even keep up with you, Frank.
I can't. I'm not as talented as Frank. That's Frank's move. Frank got that on lock.
Studied for years.
No, I
All
believe
day,
it. I
every
believe
day.
it. I believe it. I believe it. No, I'm totally in agreement. What's up, everybody? It is Hell's Kitchen time. I'm your host, Lim Gonzalez. Man, why do I always turn off the music when I'm like doing my introductions? Like, I like the background of the music when I introduce.
Ruining this flow.
Are you gonna sing it for me? Hey, hey, come on. Okay.
Harmonizing,
Yeah, that
Frank.
was
Got the
okay.
tenor.
Sure, that sounded like the quartet barbershop.
Don't hate.
But the fade didn't quite hit to. No, I'm just playing. Lim Gonzalez
evil.
here. I'm your host. You can find me at the Poet Saint all day, every day. Next to me is my band of thieves, holding it down as always. I got Robin McSweeney. What up?
Hey, Robin McSweeney, full name.
Yes.
You can find me at B Stays Busy, BIZZY. Glad to be with you guys.
Yes, and of course, my man holding it down with the sweatshirt. Didn't get the dress code, but it's all good. Frank Bread, everybody.
I don't want Lim to backpedal because before the show, I thought I got the nod. My boy.
Right.
I was excited.
Yeah,
I was
he
in the
said my boy,
club.
Frank.
I was in the club finally. Don't deny me, Lem.
Couldn't rebuke that.
That's right. You know, I will not let you rebuke it. Let's get in that hot tub and talk about it.
No, I
You can
don't.
follow me on Twitter at @HappyGoJackie.
Word. So we have a special guest, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Super excited. This young man is holding it down. We're gonna get into the episode because I'm not happy with those results. I'm
No.
just gonna say that off top.
would
Yeah,
agree.
let's
Off
throw
top.
that out there.
But yeah, we got my main man in the building on Skype.
He's in his building on Skype.
In the building on Skype. I mean, that's why how we do it. It's in the bar on Skype. Mr. Aaron Spock, everybody. Yay! What's up, sir?
It's not another day in paradise.
Another day in paradise. Aaron, where are you contacting us from?
I'm from Northern Michigan, Traverse City right now.
Trevor City.
Yep.
Nice.
Dope. Is that anywhere near Detroit?
It's about 4.5 hours north.
4.5. Oh, okay. So you're well far away from that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Like I saw a little bit of snow today.
You
Just
saw-
a little bit.
You saw a little bit of what? Of the
Snow.
Oh, snow.
You guys
Oh,
don't
okay.
see that out there.
Okay.
Oh,
So
nice.
the white stuff that falls down.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm aware of what snow is.
No, he had to tell you. He had to break it
I
down
mean,
for you, Lim.
we are in LA. Yes, I understand. We don't get a lot of white
What is that?
things that fall over here, but I appreciate you breaking it down, so I know that you get it over there. That's awesome. So of course we're talking Hell's Kitchen here, and Aaron has been holding it down for Michigan. Aaron, I'm gonna jump the gun a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm just, I'm a little verklempt right now because you were eliminated at the end of this episode, and I'm trying to figure out what happened. Now, obviously, there were some challenges throughout, the season thus far. I do see that. You were, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were the youngest person on the show. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, there was some challenges, of course. However, this particular episode, and I was talking with my girl Robin over here, and when we were watching the episode right before, and you didn't mess up at all,
Not a
and
single thing.
that we
Nothing
saw.
went wrong.
And then all of a sudden, elimination time. He's like, "Oh yeah, let's put Aaron up there." And I'm like, "Excuse me, is there two Aarons? Because I'm trying to figure out what are you doing here." So I just wanted to get to that. Did that was that any shock to you? I mean, obviously you guys deliberated. We didn't see the whole conversation because of editing, but like, how did they come to that consensus?
Well, and I was baffled by it. Like from the time that we that my name was brought up to the time that I was brought up before Chef Ramsay, and I was still super confused on like why I was going up, and they said they wanted to do it to make a stronger team, and I was like, but I've been doing good at every single service, so like. And like, I mean, there's, I pleaded my case with them and everything, and they were just like, nope, the votes are cast. And I was just like, I mean, like, I pleaded my case with them over and over again. Like, I got a little angry, but I was like, I mean, in all 16 seasons, I don't think anyone has left like on a high note with Chef Ramsay, where he's like, he actually didn't, you could tell he didn't want me to go, but because my team didn't respect me and didn't trust me,
right? And then that's what happened.
Yeah.
So, like you said, you kind of, petitioned with them and kind of had things going on. I did also see, because, you weren't up there by yourself, obviously. You were up there with Devin initially, and then he pulled Johnny up. So when you saw Johnny go up, did you think like, oh, okay, he's going to send him
I was like, I'm good now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, Robin,
I was thinking that too.
you were thinking that too.
I thought he was going to call down Andrew.
You thought he was
So
gonna
did
call that
I.
out.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
thought
I
he was
like
gonna
when he said I'm calling someone else. I turned around and I looked right at Andrew.
I'm like, come on down, Andrew. Stop
Right.
playing.
Oh, when he yes. And I think that, and you could kind of help us out with Andrew's attitude, because obviously he does think he's the man. And I didn't think that he would go on his own. What do you think, Frank? Do you think he was going to go on his own?
No, what I want to know, Aaron, is just how much time did we lose in the editing? Like, how long did everybody wait before Johnny made a move? Was everybody just standing there for like 3-4 minutes, or was like, I'm not moving.
It was probably about maybe like 5 minutes, and then Johnny walked up.
Oh, come on! It was 5 minutes.
Oh no!
I would say so, yeah. Like everyone was just kind of like, was not me. It's
Really?
not me.
Wow, that's a great question, Frank, because I didn't even think about that. I'm thinking like, oh, okay, well, he just kind of walked. I mean, awkwardly.
Yes.
But he walked up. But you're saying it was 5 minutes.
It was
before-
probably, I would say so, about there, yeah.
That
And
could
then
be
like
before he
when
walked
Chef
up.
Ramsay was
Andrew
like
was
deliberating like on who to send home, it was like a freaking like it felt like a lifetime.
You mean during the actual deliberation when all three of you were up there?
It felt like freaking like a year had passed, and,
Like
and I'm
you
just
were-
like sitting there like, what's happening?
what's going on. Now, that poses a great question, because obviously, and as Frank mentioned, we do lose a lot of time in editing. It's only going to be an hour show. When you guys are up there for that deliberation process, does it tend to be a long time? Like, you've been on the, at this point, what are we in, 5 episodes,
Yes.
6 episodes?
Yeah.
Have you seen it to be a long time for the deliberation, or is it pretty fast?
It's normally a long time. Like it's everyone's like, oh, they just do editing where like Chef Ramsay's like sitting there, like thinking. No, he does that. Like he sits there and thinks,
wow.
and you're just like sitting there like staring at him like,
Oh my gosh.
like
Really?
come on.
Who's it gonna
So
be?
the anticipation just gets super built up. And last week I was freaking out.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy when Gia got eliminated and she just got pulled out at random. I mean, I know the viewers, we were all shocked.
Right.
And I imagine you guys were shocked as well.
I was like, I didn't know what to do. Like I was speechless afterwards. Like I was just like, what just happened?
Yeah. I mean, it was a whole different team. Like,
Yeah.
They
it
were
was a whole
sitting. They
different
were
team.
seated,
They
cool
were
as a
chill.
cucumber.
And she even said, and we mentioned this, that she was like, "Oh, I'm so glad
They
the
finished
blue."
service.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
We finished service
Yeah.
because I would have been up. And he's like, "No." And is it one of those things? I'm just curious, as like when he's there deliberating, is it like producers in his ear, like to try to figure out like when he makes these decisions?
I don't know. I think it's just him. Like I think he makes those decisions all on his own.
Wow, that's really
So
Yeah.
no one
interesting.
ever knows. No one ever knows who's getting eliminated before that moment. It's not picked before. No one
Right,
takes a
right.
break and then say we'll come back. You're still standing there that entire time.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Like
crazy.
from when we walked into the dining room for elimination to the point where someone gets eliminated, it's probably like, I would say you're looking at like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Really? So it's not
And
as quick. It's not as quick as what we see.
Just suspense the whole time. Like I can like there wasn't music playing, but I could just hear like suspenseful music in my head the entire
Oh
time.
my gosh.
Just going back and forth.
Now, Aaron, I want to know one thing, because last week when Chef Ramsay called you out, and he's like, when are you going to find your voice, Aaron? And you kind of like, well, I don't know. Why didn't you just lie and said you're gonna find it right away? It's my voice is coming out loud and proud at this moment.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you're up there on the stand, it's like being like a 7th grader on your first date with a girl, and her dad is like, like 6'6", like 300-pound dude of muscle, and he's sitting there with you your whole date. So you're just like sweating profusely, and like you're just like, yes, and just like super nervous.
That's hilarious. That is
Yeah.
hilarious. That is
That was the
hilarious.
best way to
That was.
describe that.
But I can imagine that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got to be intimidating, especially
Oh, yeah.
you're in this line of work. And, you see it when we kind of the first episode each season, and they're like, oh my gosh, Chef Rand's my idol, or I really look up to him,
Yeah.
or what
Right.
have you. So you're in it, they're in his presence, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's very daunting.
Right. Or
Can
you
imagine.
can buck up like he's your sergeant and be like,
Right.
yes, chef.
Yeah.
Right now, chef.
Exactly.
Or,
Yeah, either way, it's going to be an intimidating situation. Let's talk about this this particular episode, 7 Seas Seafood Challenge, with the pirates.
the
Come
jingle.
on now with those. Come on. Aaron, please tell me you guys were just as annoyed by those pirates as I was. Like, get along with that singing. Get along.
I walked out and I was just like, what is this? And then like I had to sing in the confession. They were like, come on, give us your pirate song. And I was like,
That's hilarious. You know what it reminded me of? It's a different era, but just kind of the same annoyance is, have you ever been to the Renaissance Fair?
Yes.
I don't know if Renaissance Fair is on the East Coast down there, but definitely Renaissance Fair. And the way they were singing, I'm like, oh my, it took me back.
Yeah.
That took me back to the Renaissance Fair and the yo ho ho, a pirate's life for me. And yeah, I was like, yo, is this a Disneyland ride that I just can't, basically.
Caribbean.
So anyway, I thought it was hilarious, but yes, very annoying. I'm with you on that,
thanks.
Frank. And it sounds like, according to our boy Aaron, it was also extremely annoying.
Well, because they had to figure, like, did those guys all get together when they figured out which fishes were being served and come up
Right.
with lyrics to those songs, like
Yeah.
high-fiving each other? We got it.
Oh,
That was
of course.
a sweet riff.
Oh, they
yeah.
killed. Oh, yeah, we killed it. We killed that. We
Bars.
killed that. Bars.
they're waiting for their gold album next.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
like
Yeah.
7 CDs. You know?
Right. I bet you could find that. I bet you
They're
you could look
slinging
that
them on
up
the
and
corner
find. I
somewhere.
bet you. And yeah, exactly. Long
It's
John
on
Silver's.
on iTunes next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Long John Silver's near you. It's going down. So they pick a person to go against. So you guys actually picked a person to go against, and then the person that got chosen then got to pick the body of water that had the fish that they had to cook. And so different people picking different ones. Aziza got wahoo, which she didn't know what that was, and I had never heard of it either.
I always knew just from
Isn't
Wahoo
there
Fish
a fish
Tacos.
place?
That's
Yeah,
all.
I'm like, there's a
Fish
Wahoo's
Tacos.
Fish.
I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that. I just
What?
Well, first of all, don't be whatting me.
But Lim knows everything,
I
though.
do not know every. Okay, Aaron, did you know what wahoo was until that point?
Not before the show.
See, thank you. And he cooks food. So there, whatever, wahoo fish tacos. Anyway, you actually got chosen by Ryan and got the Baltic Sea cod.
Yep.
Were you comfortable with that? How did you feel about that?
Yeah, I was comfortable with it because at the time I was working in a Irish pub and we had cod on the menu, so that was like pretty easy for me. So
Oh, word. So you were good.
Perfect.
You were good with that.
How'd you feel about
Yeah.
getting called out by Ryan? Like, that? Did she think you
It-
got...
it was tough because like we're both from Michigan and stuff, and we didn't know each other previous, but we had like some mutual friends. Like we knew a lot of the same people and stuff. But like now we're good friends and everything. Like we talk all the time, but I was like, oh, why? Because like she's good.
Yeah,
Like,
and she obviously chose you because she felt that she could
yeah.
blast
she
you out of
could
the water.
me.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a question, quick question. When you chose Baltic Sea, were you just any mini miny mowing, or were you aware that cod was from the Baltic Sea and you wanted cod?
I was
Or
aware the cod was from the Baltic Sea, so it was like I went with something I was comfortable with.
got it.
Smart man. Smart man. Wendy actually got left with Andrew, Mr. Cook himself, super cook, who felt very super confident, obviously.
That was way too much. Like,
Yeah.
just put that point in the
I
blue column.
was like, really, dude?
my
like,
gosh, I
seriously?
couldn't
Like,
take him this
and that's
episode.
why I was like super glad, even though unfortunately, it still was cooked well.
Right.
But he was struggling.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit and was kind of
He
sweating.
was a little pressed,
Yeah,
like
he
a
was
panini.
Little bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of all of them, you had bluefin tuna, which Heidi and Johnny went up against. Heidi took that one. Branzino, Coop and Kimberly. Coop took that one. Grouper, Shayna and Matt,
Both
they both
got
got a
points.
point. The Wahoo,
Which is he said.
woohoo. You know about that woohoo, right, Aaron? That woohoo fish is pretty banging. We had Wahoo. So Polly took that one, which I figured because she didn't even know what it was. Even though she actually did cook it, he said the cook was well. It was just something else on it wasn't done well.
To go back on the Branzino, the couscous with Kimberly.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Like I was like if you've never cooked couscous before, okay, then
Right.
don't make it for Chef Ramsay for a competition that you want to win.
Right, exactly. Oh,
Like,
it's
I
like,
was
like rice.
I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, couscous." And then like I watched the episode and I didn't know she hadn't made it before until I watched the episode and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like
What's wrong
Well, what
with
made
you?
it worse is that she didn't have anyone on her team even try it.
Right.
Considering that she had never done it
Yeah.
before.
No, it was a bad move all the way around. Bad move. Let's see. We had the cod. Between you two and yours was watery. Was it still in the ocean when you were cooking
Oh,
it? Like what was
so
that?
I guess mine was just more fresh than hers. I guess hers was or something.
I like that.
Bet. So Ryan took that one with the Arctic char. Heather and Devin, they both got a point, and then it came down to the sea bass between Wendy and Andrew. He was sweating bullets. He ended up pulling it out, and the blue team won. And you guys got to go to Petty Cash, which I haven't been to yet.
Yeah.
You haven't been, have you
It was
been?
No.
delicious.
It was bomb. It was good.
It was really good. Oh yeah.
Okay, so you would recommend it for sure.
Oh, for sure. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, we got to go to Petty Cash.
There you
Yeah,
go.
we got to go to Petty Cash field trip. And you guys got to go bowling at Pins. How was that?
That was a lot of fun. I'm a horrible bowler.
Okay.
You got
So,
that strike
what?
though.
I did. That was granny style strike.
It was
That
through your
that
legs though, wasn't
out.
it?
Granny
Still
style.
counts. Still
yeah,
counts.
granny.
Still counts.
You know,
Aaron, tell me, when was the last time you wore that bowling shirt?
what's that?
When was the last time you wore that bowling shirt?
Probably that day.
But better yet, what about the shorts
The
though?
shorts.
Yeah.
The shorts, yeah. What was up with the
I wear
shorts?
it in summer once a week. Once in the summer, I wear those fish shorts.
And so you were like, "This is it. This is my chance, my moment."
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
Especially-
when I went out there, they were just like, "Oh, lay out some outfits for your first day," and I was just like, "I'm putting these shorts out for sure." And they were just like, the producer walked in the room was like, "Those." We wear those. It's like,
Put those on right now because that's good TV.
Yeah. And I give it up for Aaron because Chef Ramsay tells you up front, like, hey, guess what? I'm so excited about this place. I'm going to go too. And
Right.
knowing that he's going to go, it's not like he
Yeah.
just surprised you guys and you're
Right.
like, oh, I'm wearing
He's
these
like, I'm
shorts.
gonna
wear
No,
my
you deliberately
short
said, I'm
Yeah.
wearing those shorts,
I'm wearing
baby.
them. This is it. This is it. This is
Yes.
my choice, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I'm doing. So we go to dinner service, and it starts off actually that well, we had some special guests, but the blue and red team actually did well out the jump, out the gate, did
That's
well.
true.
You had Joe Perry that
Yep.
was dining in the Blue Kitchen. That was dope. Are you a fan?
Yes and no.
That's a
all kinds of
no.
music. Well, I listen to like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. I'm like old school jazz music.
What?
That's pretty much
Really?
Oh.
As a 22, 23-year-old?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Old soul. You got an
Old
old
soul.
soul.
Yep.
Old
Yep.
soul. Gotcha. Okay. So it's a yes and no for that.
Not really.
Yeah.
I think it's a no.
Okay. I think it's more like it's a no.
I will say though, on all those chefs tables though, I think this is the first season, and I can't remember how long, where I've and Lem can say because you know the show forever, but
Right.
that the celebrities at the chef table really, I mean, there wasn't much drama because they really weren't focused that much on them.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I agree.
But also, it seems like our guests were very focused on the kitchen too.
Yes.
They were very
Yes.
involved.
Estelle, speaking of from the Red Kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
she was very much looking, and she was kind of rooting actually
Yeah,
for
she
the
was like,
girls. She's
"Let's
like,
go,
yeah, let's go,
girls.
girls.
Don't let
Let's
the
do
men
this."
get it.
Right. So she
My
was
sentiments.
on it. Right. Exactly.
I honestly, I had no idea who she was before she came on there. That's horrible to say. I knew
No,
who Joe
that-
Perry was, but I had no idea who she was.
That's
That's
okay.
not that bad. It's
That's
not
okay.
that bad. It's not
okay.
surprising.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what the worst part is like, I don't watch TV at all.
At all.
At all. Like I do not watch TV.
now you're
Like,
forced to watch
Netflix
it now that you're on
again.
it.
And like this is the first season I've actually like sat down and watched of Hell's Kitchen,
Oh,
and
really?
I'm like, what have I been missing out for like all 16 seasons?
Yeah.
Man, so then having never watched the show, what made you decide that you wanted to be on it?
Right.
I was just like, like I saw like something on Facebook or something. I was like, I'll sign up. Why not? Like maybe I'll get picked, maybe I won't. And I was just like, why not? Like it'll be fun. So
And
then I
there
got
you go.
picked. So
Boom. There it is. There it is. So outside of that, like I said, Devin and Johnny started messing up for the blue team. They ended up sending up cold apps. Well, Devin sent up cold apps, and Johnny sent up raw salmon, which he likes to beat with his fists.
He did
I
that
love
like
it.
all
Can I get
dinner
enough with
service.
heat? That's
my
my favorite
chef
part.
was always got so dirty because of that. Like he would just like punch it and it would just go in every direction. It's just like, oh, I just got this clean today.
That's so white.
I saw it in going eyes and hair and
Oh,
Yeah.
it was everywhere. There's one time he threw it across the kitchen.
Really?
And I
Oh,
just like
he-
watched it and I was like, actually that's perfectly cooked. But, okay.
Excellent. Sure, if that's what you want to do with the food.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we were talking about him earlier, Mr. Big Shot, Andrew. He sent up raw steak twice.
twice.
Yes.
Twice. And
The weird thing is like he works in a steakhouse.
wow.
First of all. Second of all, the night before I was on meats,
Mm-hmm.
and like occasionally I would have him like just like double check mine before I sent it up, just
Right,
so I
right. We
it
saw
didn't get
that.
sent back. And like they were always spot on. Like I just wanted like a but then he like the next night he just messed up all the meats, and I was like,
Which shows you really didn't need him to check.
Right.
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
You should have had me check.
Right.
Should have been my job.
Mr. Big
Yeah.
Shot.
Yeah, I just was like, because he was talking so big, and then of course, kind of, I think he lucked up on the challenge. When they had the challenge and he did well because he was sweating bullets. I think
Right.
he lucked up, and in this case, he had stood up the stake twice. My thing is, I would have sent him up for elimination if I were
Hands
you all.
down.
Yes.
He should
He
have
should've
been
gone
down
up.
there.
He
Just
should
when
have.
him and Johnny.
If,
I agree.
if Johnny
Yeah.
was down there, Johnny sent salmon raw twice.
Right.
Then Andrew should have been down there for sending steak raw twice.
Right.
Like that's comparable.
That made sense if you're going by, but I know that during the talking you can kind of maybe elaborate on that because they were saying oh, let's just go by the whole season, not just the night service. And I don't know if that was a method like build, because I heard building a strong team. I heard that was one thing.
Right. And I think another one is like there started alliances started forming.
Sure.
Like
Right.
Johnny, Paulie, and Matt were like all really good buddies. And
Right.
so like anytime like if I like nominated one of them, then they would like nominate me. Even if I
All
didn't
of
do
them.
anything, they would nominate me. Like or they'd start like yelling at me for something. And I'm just like, we can't play favorites. Like you're
you
here
gotta
for
find
yourself.
a click. You gotta find a click quick.
Yeah. Right. So that makes sense because that answers my question because I was thinking like maybe they were covering themselves and it's like, oh no, let's just not think about tonight, let's think about the
Yeah.
whole thing so then they can pull
And
other
Matt
people.
wasn't even in the dining room, so
Right.
like he shouldn't have really like had any say.
Right.
He was in the dining room the whole night. He wasn't even in the kitchen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Andrew kept on talking about like, hey, I'm accountable for my actions. I'll stand
Right.
up and say when I'm wrong.
Well,
like,
he
in no time
said he
did
only did one raw steak. Someone had to
Right,
correct
right.
him. That irritated me. I'm like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
can't
excuse
be
me.
accountable for half of the F
Exactly.
ups.
You were part of the
Exactly.
reason that we got tossed out at
Right.
that moment. It was your.
Exactly. Stop playing. Stop playing. So, as a matter of fact, you guys, the blue team ended up getting kicked out for like a record how many times?
That's the fourth time.
Yeah.
And
like,
it's only
Yeah,
five. We're only
Finish
5
finish
episodes. in.
service. So
yeah. You guys, I mean, what do you think it was a lack of cohesion between you all as a whole as to why you had troubles over the season finishing dinner service?
I think so because like Andrew started to try to communicate with Devin, but it came off as sort of aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Devin was like, I'm not gonna let you tough man me, and then they all started getting I can I'm bigger the guy than you are, and they all started getting like all like caveman-y, and I was just
Right.
like, why can't we just like work as a team?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I was like super calm, like, and everyone else would just start screaming, and I'm just like, we can work this out, guys. It's all right.
Right. Kumbaya. Let's,
Well,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
get
Like I
along.
just have my guitar over there, just chilling.
It's all
I'm musically challenged. I can't play any instruments. Maybe the kids do.
I could see why Chef Ramsay was frustrated because at lunch, I mean, basically said, "That's what you do. You want to build a strong brigade. It's all about team. You just got to have one voice, and everybody follow that one voice."
Right.
And I can see why he was so mad when everything fell apart during service. Like, what did I just tell you guys?
Right.
I told you how to do
Yeah.
this.
Didn't make sense. Didn't make sense.
And like that's the thing is we didn't have one voice. Everyone was just trying to yell, and I was just like, okay, I see nobody listened at lunch today, so
In one ear, out the other.
guys aren't learning here. So of course, because you guys got kicked out, you were with a team to figure out who was going to be eliminated. And as we mentioned before, Devin and Aaron were chosen, and then Johnny ended up getting, after what was it, 5 minutes or whatever, he ended up walking
Called
up.
out.
Do you think? I'm just curious, Aaron, given the nature of everything that went down. We were talking about Andrew. Do you think if Andrew, stepped up, do you think he possibly could have been eliminated?
I think possibly and I was like seeing if maybe Andrew and Johnny would have stepped up, but I think Andrew's one of those guys who's like he's like. I don't know. He's too tough to like admit that he's wrong. Like
Right.
he's like, oh, I'm not gonna step up there. I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Like even though he messed up those 2 steaks and I had a perfect service, so I was like, but I think if he would have went up, either if he and Johnny would have both went up, one of them would have went home, and I think it might have been Johnny.
Okay. So you think there would have been definitely a different outcome situation?
Yes, completely different.
Okay. So, unfortunately, as we all know, and we mentioned before, our guest Aaron was eliminated. So you are not going to be the head chef. However, I think that you did well on the show, especially for being the youngest. I think you had a lot of the comic relief because just some of the things you involve yourself with. Frank's favorite thing is the spa hot tub
Yes.
situation.
He's been trying to get in
that
there
he
with
still
Lim
Yes.
for the
keeps
past
talking
3
about
weeks.
every single episode. I'm like, if you don't let this hot tub thing go, please.
We cannot.
It's gonna happen.
But no, I think it was. I think it was dope. And you're one of my favorite people on the show. I hate that you're gone, which sucks. But I do want to give you the opportunity before we let you go to let us know what you do have going on, and if people are out, in your area where you're working out, that they can come see you, come eat your food, all that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm up in northern Michigan in Traverse City. I am the sous chef and banquet chef at a resort. I do all of our weddings in the summertime. We have 2 more next week. We did 80 this summer.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, from May until October. So
Wow.
And what's the name of that
summer's
resort?
busy. What's that?
What's the name of that resort?
The Homestead.
The homestead. Robin's actually engaged, so maybe
Yeah.
if
Might
she
have to come that
decides
way.
northern Michigan, Aaron can
It's
hook it up.
Yeah, that cherry festival, man. Get
I
going.
can't, we were named like most beautiful spot in America. Like,
Really?
What?
yeah, we have the Sleeping Bear Dunes, Lake Michigan. We're right on the water. We have like a mile of coastline on Lake Michigan.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
reaching out to you soon.
Yeah, there it is.
For
There it
sure,
is.
for sure.
I might just
I
need
can
to
hook you up with a
find
room, no
somebody. Find me a
You
boo
need
to
a
get
date.
married. Yeah.
No, you just need a
I
date to
just
come
need
to
a
my
date to
wedding.
come to your wedding. Oh,
And
there
you
it
need
is.
a date to come to my
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah.
Aaron, one last question I want to ask you is that when Chef Ramsay let you go and said that you're not going to be part of the competition anymore, he said he thought you were a great cook, but he felt like you needed confidence. Do you feel that was a valid criticism, or was it just a situation of this competition that maybe didn't have you executing your stuff to the fullest extent of your ability?
I think so, because at the time I was like very, quiet, and I'm a lot more vocal now after the show. Like I've been known to like throw pans across the kitchen and stuff, and, which is really weird because like everyone's like, oh, you don't yell, and then they'll see me in the kitchen and like something will go wrong, and I'll just throw a pan across the kitchen and start screaming at everybody, and then I'll just like walk into the dining room and just like start talking to a customer like nothing just happened. So
Oh my gosh, Chef Ramsay Jr. Am I-
Yes.
Yeah. There it is.
When are you going to punch a salmon? You got to punch a
Yes.
salmon,
Oh my
Aaron.
God.
Yeah. That'll make it all complete.
That must
Yes.
bring much
Just
relief.
watch it.
I'll work on that. I'll get like a video of it maybe and send it to you guys.
Yes.
Please,
Yes.
please.
That would be awesome.
Please.
Aaron, let the people and the fans know where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Twitter at Chef Gumby. As in the
Nice.
character.
Yes.
Nice.
It's an old nickname of mine. I've had it forever. Because
Really?
I'm tall and lanky. I'm 6'3", so it's
Uh-huh.
like
Gumby.
I'm pretty Gumby.
That I love that. That's probably my favorite Twitter handle from any of the contestants so
But
far.
Gumby is like, how do you even know about Gumby though? Like Gumby is
He's an old soul. He listens
That's
to Dean
right.
Martin.
He does listen to Dean
True,
Martin.
true, true.
I just forgot. Yeah, there it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Aaron, thank you so much for being with us, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us. And I'm sorry to see you go off the show, but I know that you're going to excel at everything that you do, especially where you're at the homestead,
Yes.
holding it down. If you do punch a salmon, make sure you send it to us
Yeah.
so we can show that, because that would be awesome.
It would.
All right, man. Aaron, thank you, man.
Bye,
Appreciate it.
Aaron.
See ya.
Hey, Mr. Aaron Smock
Man,
is no longer with us.
he was entertaining though.
He was funny.
Yes.
He
was
was.
funny. He was funny.
I definitely feel like that wasn't fair.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay. So
For the circumstances, if you want to talk about the entire team as a whole, okay, fine.
I think,
but
I think that they
I feel like
definitely
that was an excuse because people were really dropping the ball.
they played him.
Yeah.
Definitely. However, in our predictions last week, you guys felt
yeah.
that he was going to go home.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did.
So, just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that is a very much a double-edged sword excuse there, because it's
Right.
when somebody you don't like,
Right.
You know, you're wanting them to go like, well,
Right.
even though they had a great service, let's judge it by the whole entire season.
right.
Like with a Joy from last episode, like, hey, let's just get her out.
Exactly.
But when
Exactly.
it's somebody that you like, and you're like, oh, don't use the whole season because he
Right.
kicked ass tonight.
Right.
And
right.
I honestly do feel like last week when we were saying like Aaron was probably going to be the next to go, I think more so because they put him in, like, I feel not that he gets bullied, but he gets the short end of the stick because he isn't that much outspoken.
Right.
And he was up on the chopping board last week. So he got that pass because Gio went home. So I was like, they're going to try and get him off their
Sure.
team.
I mean, I knew that it was.
That's
gonna
why I
come,
predicted it. But
Yeah.
the way it happened, I was just like, whoa.
That shouldn't happen like that.
Yeah, I can see if everyone else didn't do bad, and then fine, get him off your team. But
Right.
that's not fair.
Well, I see where, as much as I praised Andrew last week for sticking up for Aaron when they were trying to eliminate him, because he said Aaron didn't have a bad service. What are you guys trying to get rid of him for?
Right.
This week, because Andrew screwed up, he wasn't
He
standing up
wasn't
for Aaron.
standing exactly
Yeah.
because he was going to be the one on
he
the
would've been
chopping
on the
block.
chopping block, yeah.
See,
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's competition.
at
right?
the end of the day, you got to
Yeah.
cover your own behind.
You have to. And as we find out, that cliques are formed and alliances are made, and that helps people staying in. And we've seen this with all kinds of, reality competition type shows. When you have these alliances and then that kind of sticks together, kind of help people. And I think he just didn't have one. And unfortunately, it was to his demise, because honestly, if it was any, like, what did he say? He said if Johnny and Andrew would have went up, he felt
Right.
like one of them
Johnny
would
would
have
have went home and Andrew would have stayed.
So it's just interesting how it shook up. I do like the fact, even though it didn't fare well for Aaron, is that, he did, who else needs to be here? And then Johnny steps up. After what, 5 minutes?
Yeah, just to see that, like,
That's just fine. I wish they would have they can't do it, but just show 5 minutes of them
Yes.
just kind of stand off, like
And crickets in the
anybody
background.
going, and then that would have been great.
I wonder how effective alliances are though in Hell's Kitchen, because you never know what Ramsey's thinking when he comes up to elimination, and he's a smart guy in the kitchen. He's
Yes.
got to see
Yes.
if people are trying to sabotage somebody else in the kitchen. I think he'd pick up on that.
I think though when it's early, I think it helps, because if you can form an alliance early, because there's so much, for lack of a better term, there's so much dead weight, because you're starting off with 18 chefs. It's only going to be, and then it gets to the top 6 with, when they have the black jackets. So there's a lot of eliminations prior to that. So really, it's a lot of dead weight, people that are not going to win. You just know they're not going to win.
Right.
You look at their signature dish, like, you're not about to last. So it comes down to like personality and all this kind of things. So if you could get an alliance early, I think it will bode well. After some time, when it gets to this point, you're getting into the 6th, 7th, 8th episode. I don't think it matters at all, because he can see everything. Nothing is going to slip by him
Right.
at all. You know what I'm saying? So I think it helps in the beginning, but maybe not, like later on.
And to be honest, if you have to go out on an episode, better to go out like this where you did really well, and just for whatever reason you get
True.
eliminated, as opposed to crashing and burning.
Right.
True.
then
And
being
kind of
terrible.
like you're like, oh,
Yeah.
then you have to face everybody like, man, and all you're answering is like, man, you suck so
Absolutely.
much in that last service.
Absolutely.
What were you thinking?
Yeah.
That's true.
No, that's true. That's true. Let's get into predictions. Let's figure out what we're going to do next episode.
Now,
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, so Frank Moran,
Yes.
aka The Voice. Now we our fallen soldier Aaron.
Yes.
He's out of there, aka Hot Tub Time Machine.
That's right.
And
BKA Gumby.
That's
right,
right.
right.
AKA Gumby. I'm also your boy. We're also hot tub buddies too as well. Don't forget that, Lamb. Never stop talking
Going
about that.
down all day.
Every
Hot tub
day.
bubbles.
anyway,
No rebukes. No
Back
rebukes.
rubs. No.
Kevin Hart now. What are you doing?
All
What's
day.
going on here?
By myself. Okay, I'm done.
So, what are you predicting going into next week?
I don't think it's going to be a major thing at all, but it was interesting to see the first little chink in Ryan's armor this episode. There,
okay.
in terms of just not being vocal enough for Ramsey's taste.
Okay.
Because otherwise, I think just skill-wise, what she's delivering is great.
Mm-hmm.
But just in terms of maybe being able to be a leader and run a kitchen, that might be like her weak point at this moment.
Right.
So I don't think it's anything serious enough to warrant her like, oh, guys, I think she's going to be eliminated soon. I think she's really going to go the distance. So I'm still betting on Ryan to at least be in the final 2.
Okay.
I stick on that. For actually who I can see going next episode, man, it feels like all eyes are supposedly on Devin. It feels like everybody's trying to get rid of Devin like this. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. I'd like to see Johnny gone. I mean, Johnny, he's just blowing it every single time. This
Right.
guy can't cook a burger. He's killing. He's not killing it in any of the services. He's being killed by this food.
Murdered.
So I'd like to see Johnny go.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. I think Johnny is. I think if you had to choose between Johnny and Devin going first, I think it's going to be Johnny before Devin.
Okay. Okay.
I just want to throw this out there. Although you guys already know, my girls are killing it. My girls are killing it.
Hey, even Ramsey at the end of the episode said like that. He said, "Looking over
They're
here at this
looking
red
like
team,
black
that's
jackets.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
But not Kimberly, because Kimberly is not going to distance.
No,
She
bless her
cannot.
heart. You know what? She's the weakest link on my girls. I think Johnny.
You
is the
think
weakest.
she's weaker than Aziza?
Okay. Well, you know what?
Because remember the taste
But
test.
Kim is only from a food truck.
a sushi food truck. Though.
Yeah, so, come on.
On top of that, that makes it even worse. Like I don't know if you were saying that to make it better. Or
No,
what.
I was not. I was joking.
All hail Ryan and Shayna on my girl team. I can't wait till whatever next
about Heidi?
service. Heidi's cool.
Interesting. Shayna's not going the distance.
Heidi's cool.
Okay.
Ooh, did you? Okay, this is my prediction. I let you speak.
Stepping on prediction toes.
Okay. Anyway, Ryan and Shayna, even though Frank doesn't think Shayna's gonna make it.
Right.
Paulie is my top guy.
Paul.
I'm irritated with Andrew, so I feel like that's gonna kick him in the butt. And then even though everyone's going for Devin next week, I feel like the whole sabotaging triangle, something's going to bite them. Something's going to
Something's gonna
backfire.
happen.
Something's going to backfire. I don't know.
Real quick, can we, as we're talking about Andrew, can we just say get along with the Chew, Andrew, every time they're at deliberation?
Oh gosh.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's 2016. Let's
Right.
use the
It's
Chew.
2016.
They have like some green tea ones that are like not really tobacco, but it makes
Yeah,
you
I
feel
don't know.
like it
Well,
is.
I mean, maybe where he's from or something. I don't know, but yeah, I don't see people do that anymore.
I meant to bring that
I
up
don't
last
see
week.
people-
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, it's. I see that, and I
I can't take him seriously
Yeah,
when
it's
he's
like, what?
arguing with somebody.
What chewing is, yeah, I was like, is this a Western? Like what?
Where's
Yeah.
the soda cup?
It's bad. Right. Really bad. Okay, so this is difficult for me because I don't see any consistency with like, okay, I do agree that the red team is killing it. However, you know, we did see someone from their team go home, not because they had a bad service, but that person needed to go home, according to Chef Ramsay. That being said, I do think definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, that the red team is stronger. But when I say inconsistency, it's like the blue team won the challenge. Yeah, the blue team didn't complete service, but they actually won the challenge, which was a close challenge, but you could still say that they still won. And they've won other challenges. So it's just interesting to see how it kind of goes. Like, it's almost like the blue team's good at challenges, the red team's good at service. So it's kind of like, in the end,
Which one do
what's
you
gonna
think
happen?
is more important? I feel like service at the end of the day.
I think
'cause that's-
service. I think service is more important. However, when you look at the challenges speak volumes for because you're cooking typically like we either see the challenges where you're cooking by yourself or you're cooking with a pair. So it's more centralized. Whereas in service, you're all working together as a
Right.
team type thing, which you are in the challenges as well. But I think you stand out more as far as what you're told to cook. When you're cooking in service, it's a menu, right?
True.
So you have the appetizers, you have whatever's on the menu. You have the main course, whatever meats, fishes. But when he has these challenges, like, cooking wahoo fish, you know what I'm saying? If you could cook that well, then that bodes well for you, So as a person, as a personal, person. So I don't know. To answer your question, I don't know which is stronger. You would think service would be stronger because obviously if you continue to do bad in service, you're going to continue to lose members. So eventually that team will be stronger, overall. However, does that mean who's going to win? Because I think at this point it could be from either team. I don't see like a clear front runner on the red team. I don't see a clear front runner on the blue team. I think the blue team gets along better, and I think overall as a team they're better. But they have some weak people, like who I just mentioned, Aziza, and who else was it? Kimberly.
Kim.
So they're not Loctite. Also, I do hope. I don't know if it will happen this episode, maybe next episode, but I do hope that little alliance on the blue team gets shaken up for sure, because I think that causes them to play dirty in a sense, and maybe get people off that shouldn't go off. So, just saying.
I think the challenges, as long as you do well, I think that's a great report card for you by the end of the season. So if you make it down to the final two,
Right.
and say two people doing great in services, and I think Ramsey looks at those challenges along the way. And
Right.
if somebody was killing in challenges and the other person wasn't as much, I think that can tip it in your favor at the end of the
I
day.
think so too. But it always goes back to you're supposed to be managing a kitchen. You're a head chef. So whether you cook well, you still got to be able to cook and know.
Yeah.
But it's like how you weigh that. So I mean, it'll be interesting, and we don't really see them leading until further towards the end
Right.
of the season. So and to see who has. And right now, I don't see anyone on the red team. Your girls.
No one.
But that can lead like a group of people. I don't see anyone standing out that can lead. I see great chefs,
Right.
but as far as leadership potential, I don't see that anyone on the red
I can
team.
agree with that.
No, because
So-
I feel like Ariel last year
Right.
was just coming out early and
Yeah.
often as a vocal leader.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Those are all good
Yeah,
predictions.
yeah.
Mine mostly.
I mean, or statements, rather.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been our show. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all those. We didn't have it up today because we had our guests, but thank you for those that were in the live chat. Make sure you keep the conversation going when this goes on YouTube. Make sure you keep the comments. Do you think Aaron should have went home? What do you think about that? How do you feel about that alliance? What do you think about the red team? Do you think there's any leaders? Do you disagree with me? Let us know how you feel. We also want to thank Aaron for joining us tonight.
Yes.
And holding it down in the Skype. What did I say?
the building.
In the building on
On
Skype.
Skype.
Yes. That's my thing. In the building on Skype, son. And make sure you tune in next week because we are supposed to have another guest. What?
You're
Yeah.
supposed to throw it to us.
Oh, boom.
Go, Frank. Ooh, there you go.
That was tasty.
I've been your old Slim Gonzalez. You can find me at the Poet Saint all day, every day. Robin with the V, where you at?
Robin with the V here. B stays busy. Follow me.
You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie and check us out Friday night, 8 o'clock, Facebook Live, Lemon Eye in the hot tub, coming to you, getting it
getting
done.
steamy.
See you then, everybody.
What? We out of here. We out.
I'm joking.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.